Hi guys and gals, animal friends and spirit pals, and welcome to my channel. How's everybody tonight? It's night here, nighttime. A little bit late, but I thought I'd do this video before I hit the hay. I keep hearing this little thing going through my head. Let me see if I can say it. I am love, love is me. I share love with all I see. The people and the animals, the flowers and the trees. I give love and it comes back to me. I am love as I was meant to be. I like it. I have to sing that, I think, maybe a little bit to myself as I'm doing housework and whatnot. I keep hearing, I think, in my brain, some of you guys asking me, who is Pan? And you want to have a little bit more information on that, and I don't blame you. It's a good question, and I'm going to try to answer it as best I can. And again, this is my experience and my interpretation of his energy. Now, you know, he's talked to me a lot about who he is, and most of what I know about him is what he's told me or shared with me telepathically. He did ask me to look at some information about his Greek god representation. And that's the one that comes to mind for me when he comes to me. You know, they all the teachers or energies, when they come forward, you know, especially if they want me to channel them, they come forward and I see an image first, and then it kind of becomes just energy. But with Pan, it's that Greek god Pan is what I see. And you know, it's part goat, half man. Now, he says that's one representation of his energy. He also says there's many representations of his energy and different ones. He has a lot of different names. He tells me indigenous people or first peoples, all know him or know his energy or that energy. And they have different names for it. He tells me, you know, he's the Green Man. He's Faunus in Roman mythology. He tells me his energy is represented by Kokopelli. It's represented by Krishna and other different names and representations for his energy. But probably the one I would be most familiar with, and even though I wasn't that, but I did know that image of him from Greek mythology, and I was always, you know, fascinated by that because animal, man mixed, loved it. And so that's what he shows himself to me as when he comes to me. I channeled Djwhal Khul for quite a while before I met Pan and began to channel him. So I had already knew how to channel, you know, when I knew him. It was a little bit of a rigmarole meeting his energy, but I'll talk about that on another video. But so let me just talk a little bit about what the Greek mythology is. During that tale, you know, the gods, Zeus and his children, lived in Olympus. His one child, Pan, lived on the earth. And so Pan in that mythology was the god that was on the earth, not up in the skies. Pan's job in that mythology was to teach the other gods and goddesses how to walk on the earth, how to be on the earth. So he taught them how to be gods and earthlings at the same time. You know, that image of him in that myth represents that there's no separation between man and nature, or another way would be God and goddess, and that it's all one. There's no separation. You know, the name Pan means all, and he's about all. It comes from source, and sources in all things. You know, it's a never-ending one and the same. It's all the same. It's all the same. And even though I refer to him as he comes across quite often as with a lot of feminine energy. He always describes himself as the good offspring of the Mother Earth, and like Father Sky, you might say, or Source in spiritual form, and Source in physical form or matter. So he calls himself the good offspring of that connection. And offspring isn't either male or female, and it's neither nor, either or. So, you know, don't get too hung up on that. Master Jesus also comes to me in a masculine form, but that's probably because that's the way I think of him. But he also has a really strong feminine energy, as does Djwhal Khul. Anyway, so also in that lifetime, Zeus supposedly came to Earth and had relations with Mother Earth in the form of a goat. The goat's name was Almathea, which strangely almost has my last name in it. It's very weird. When I first read that part of the story, I was going, oh, that's weird. And so she was an embodiment of Mother Earth, and then Pan was born from that relationship, that combining of matter and spirit. He also tells me he's been around since the beginning of time, or the beginning of the earth. He works with Source, was there when Source had the inspiration for different species and creatures and living things on the earth. It's sort of like they ran past him or went through him as they came into form, or through his aspect of the creator. You know, that energy is an individual aspect of the creator, just like I am and just like you are. He tends to have a bigger job maybe than we might, but it's a specific personality, a specific aspect of the creator, and that's been around a long time. And he has a particular knowledge and interest in all the life forms on the earth. He is concerned with all of the creations of Source, to realize who they are fully and to express that on the earth. It's gods and goddesses on the earth. You're pulling it through into a physical form, a physical expression. That's also what Master Jesus was teaching and demonstrating. So that's his big purpose. Now, you know, he has a lot of names, even as Pan, you know, God of the forest, or God in nature, God in joyful expression, fertility, you know, his energy can be felt in overindulgence, or when you get a little iffy with being moderate, you know, his energy might come in to remind you not to go overboard. Stuff like that. You know, he's been called God in the fields, the shepherds, all kinds of names, but it's really because, you might call him the boss of nature. With Mother Nature, he kind of goes out on her behalf, on behalf of Source and of the Mother, trying to keep the children in line and on track. That's one way to say it. He's a really fun energy, very joyful. He's always going on with the joy stuff. Very creative. He loves for humans to be creative and use their hands, even if it's something they don't think they're good at. Still, get in there, quiet your mind, let spirit flow, and do something creative. Now, you can do that with house cleaning or gardening or organizing or painting or dancing or writing, anything really. But it's a matter of getting in touch with your spiritual aspect and flow, and then allowing it to express itself through your hands, your vehicle, into some form. And it's not somewhere in the future, it's right there in front of you. You're creating with your hands in front of you, which is a little bit different than, say, the exercises we've been doing with Pan on the manifestation with the solstice. So that crafting is an act of creation that you can watch and look at and also get great value from it. It also lifts your energy, raises your vibration when you're in that state. This creative state of working with spirit. And it also works with your individual aspect of God, your personality. So then what's created not only has your spiritual awareness in it, but it has you in it. What you want to express. Ooh, that gave me like goosebumps. Ooh, all over. That was great. So, I hope that maybe makes that a little clearer. Now again, what do I know? That's who he's always told me he was, and I believe him. And since I've been working with his energy, my relationships with animals and with all aspects of nature have increased many times over. And all the times I always call him in when I'm communicating with animals or with other forms of nature. And every time it's to my benefit. He's opened my eyes to so many things. He's, and not just with nature and animals, which has been a great and lovely thing. That's something that I asked to do, be a service. And of course, he's just been right there with me all the time. But also in creative endeavors, He's always been with me in the theater or acting, helping me create a character or tune in psychically to the character or what it was written to be, the energy of it. And he'll play all kinds of games. When I would do workshops, Pan workshops, he would just always bring through different games and fun to do in order to create. And that's a big part of his energy. And I'm also getting that in general from him and DK, from Djwhal Khul, that we can go ahead and infuse things with more fun, more joy, more games. A lot of you are already getting that and hearing it in your dreams and on other planes, and go ahead and act on it. Make it a little more fun. Make a game out of it. Kind of get into a childlike innocence and energy. Laughter. Doing things just for laughs and for fun and for kicks. I just keep hearing that over and over just for the past couple of weeks. So it just feels like something they're broadcasting out, and for us to grab hold of if we want to and put it into action if we can. Okay. Pan says that's good for now. He's going to come in a different video and add his 2 cents if he has anything to add to that, and do some energy work with some of you guys out there. Some of you already know him and know his energy, and others are curious about it, and some don't know it at all, or have misconceptions or kind of other ideas about who he is. But I hope that clears up some of it. Again, if you have any questions for me or for Pan, leave them down in the comments and we'll do our best to address them. Okay, you guys, I hope that was interesting, and I hope it cleared up something and maybe answered some questions out there, or at least gave you an idea of what my perspective is and where I'm coming from, and who I feel I have a partnership with. You know, I said before that when I work with the animals, it always seems like they recognize Pan in my auric field pretty much immediately. And I've always said it looks like I have a Pan mark on my forehead, you know, like where he marked me, like even the way animals do when they pee on something to show it's theirs. And it's always kind of felt like that because it's not that usual to have so many different animals take to you so readily, you know, and particularly if I would take the time to sit down and talk to them, they just immediately trust me. You know, they're much more aware of those energies, it seems like, than humans are. They didn't close all that down, so they're right away there ready to participate and play along, which I'll share some more of that in some of the animal stories. Okay, guys, I better shut up. I'm going on, and have a good night, and I'll talk to you later. Or maybe I won't.